Hello, everybody. So we got some big heresy news today. I look a bit disheveled, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So today we've got our first full unit data sheet, so we get to see all the changes here in full effect for the Saturnine Terminators, which I'm very excited for because I want to run these guys, and I want to run a lot of them because they look awesome, and I love Terminators. So some fluff stuff. So the basic profile is solid across the board, but some incredible durability that really shines through. I mean, let's scroll down, right? So they move 5, which may sound normal if you're new to Heresy, but remember, Marines move 7 inches in Heresy, not 6. So these guys are noticeably slower than like regular Space Marines by, what is that? Like 35%. Not that I really want to get into the brass tacks of it, but in terms of weapon skill and ballistic skill, both 4 is it's completely average, right? They're not going to be hitting more accurately. They're not going to be punching down on Space Marines too much harder because they're just hitting on the same profile. Strength 4, I expect them to actually have higher strength because of the profiles for their Disruptor Fists, which we saw earlier. But Strength 4 means that they're pretty average there. Now, Toughness 6 is actually pretty nice, mainly because it means you're going to be much more resilient to things like power weapons, oh, excuse me. Auto cannons, things like these will be much less effective. They won't be wounding you on 2s. In fact, power weapons will be wounding you on 5s. Power swords and power axes. And things like las rifles, if they're not on their overcharge profile, won't be able to wound you. With 3 wounds, that's pretty damn high. Like that's real good. They get a lot of beefiness to them, which they really should have. And then Initiative 3, now that's a big hit. That means they're going to be hitting slower than your regular Space Marines because regular Space Marines are Initiative 4. I'm sure a lot of the people who play Heresy already know that, but I'm sure a lot of people that are getting into Heresy don't know that. Initiative is the attack order in combat, so these guys will be hitting after most Marines. In terms of advanced characteristics, leadership and cool are actually higher. I think that might just be because they're veterans or Terminators. They'll be harder to take morale tests. They'll be better under pinning fire, but willpower and intelligence are both the same. Now, 2+ save is very good, just because it looks like AP2 is maybe going to be a bit rarer. Not everyone with a power axe is going to be killing you. But also a 4+ invulnerable, that's really high. Now, you usually don't see 4+ invulnerables outside of characters, right? Like and specific chapters. Legion Terminators do have it. So it's not the rarest thing, but it's still rare, right? You're not seeing that on your average Joes. So they're very tough. Granted, they're very expensive. The base cost is 200 points for 3 of them, so you're looking at, probably 60 points for the standard guys, and then 80 points for the sergeant. They have 2 attacks, which is pretty much average. I don't think they'll have a way to get extra attacks, but they'll probably hit pretty hard. So, yeah, pretty expensive. We're looking at, and then you can include up to 3 additional Terminators at 60 points a model. So, again, pretty nice, but definitely expensive, right? A big unit of 6 of these guys is going to cost you, 380 points before points upgrades. They come standard with the Plasma Bombard and Saturnine Disruption Fist, which is how I'm going to run them. And then they get the Oculix Targeting Auspex and Thermal Diffraction Field, which I presume the Diffraction Field is what gives them their invulnerable save. In terms of special rules, they're bulky 4, so that means they take up 4 slots in transports they can fit in, so you can only fit 3 in a Land Raider. Could you fit 6 in a... I think you could, because what is it, 28 slots for a Spartan? Explodes, I do like that. That means they have, of course, a chance to blow up and damage nearby allies or enemies. Implacable Advance presumably is sort of like move and shoot heavy weapons and charge. Slow and Purposeful means you probably can't run, so no running with these guys. And then they do have the Sergeant, and they have the heavy keywords, so those keywords are, of course, staying. So that's good. I'm glad of that. And then in terms of options, any model in this unit may exchange its Saturnine Disruption Fist for one of the following, either another Plasma Bombard or a Twin Heavy Disintegrator. The Disintegrators are 10 points per model, so they're going to have to be pretty good, I imagine. And then any model in this unit may have its plasma bombard replaced with a twin heavy disintegrator at 10 points. And then you can bring disruptor fists up to particle shredders for 5 extra points. So I'm probably going to be running plasma bombards and shredder fists because that sounds cool as hell. And then here's that war gear, the Oculix targeting aspects. When a model with this so everyone is selected to make a shooting attack, if that model's unit remains stationary in the controlling player's preceding movement phase, that model gains firing protocols 2, special until the shooting attack is fully So firing protocols still exist. So if you move, you only get to shoot one of your guns, basically. But if you're stationary, you get to shoot both. If you bring 2 guns, of course. Which means that's actually, I think, a pretty good rule, right? It allows them to actually be pretty mixed purpose. You get either, you get either like full shooting if you want them to be a ranged unit, or you can have them moving and shooting at full effect, which I quite like. An implacable advancement, they can volley fire with their guns when being charged, for example. Oh, so this gives them sort of this allows them to do like unrestricted overwatch, is what implacable advance does with their guns. Yeah, the plasma bombard is their default, effectively a plasma cannon that doesn't need line of sight. Oh, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. So let's look at this, right? So this is looking more like the Daradeo's kind of plasma cannons with the 2 profiles, which isn't super common in Heresy, at least not at the moment. So in sustained fire, you get 24-inch range, so pretty solid range, nothing crazy though. 1 attack per. Range strength is 6, so you'll be wounding Marines on 2s. Remember, in Heresy, you wound on 2s if you're 2 strength higher than their toughness. AP 4 means you're not going to be punching through armor, like Space Marine armor, super efficiently. And then damage 1, just exactly what I'd expect. It's blast 3 inches, which is always fun. I love blast templates. Barrage 1, which presumably just means you get to fire this weapon out of line of sight. And then breaching 6+ means on a 6 to wound, you'll get AP 2, which is good because then you'll be blasting through people a lot more efficiently. Of course, with blast, this firepower 1 could actually be more like 4 or 5 hits, depending on how it goes. And then you can overcharge it, which bumps you up to strength 7, but gives you overload 2. So when you roll a 1, you'll be hitting yourself twice, basically, which is very dangerous. But you get breaching 5+, which is a very sizable upgrade for sure. These do look pretty solid just for slinging at Space Marines, and anything lighter, of course. But probably not the craziest weapons, but they look the coolest, and that's my favorite part. Though the twin heavy disintegrators do look cool. These, of course, do cost more points, so keep that in mind. They're at 24-inch range, so same range, but no indirect. 2 firepower 2, so 2 attacks piece. So you can have up to 4, 8, 12, 20 attacks? No, 24 attacks, sorry. Well, I'm so dumb. How did I get 20? Up to 24 attacks with these, which is pretty sizable if you bring 2 apiece. At strength 7, you're going to be wounding everything on 3s and most things on 2s. Not going to be great for armor penetration, though. So these things are still mainly for infantry shooting. AP 2 and damage 2 means these guys will tear through Terminators, but overload 2. So again, very, very often are you going to be smacking yourself with these, and these are AP 2, so you're on your invulnerable save, or you're going to start killing yourself very quickly. So very powerful, maybe something you could use out of like a drop pod or like a land raider or a Spartan. You could have these guys jump out and just laser, akimbo laser some important enemy units and just have them dead, because this will tear through Space Marines and Terminators alike, but also you're likely going to take some casualties. Especially in a big unit of 6. So the Disruption Fist is an exotic version of the classic Terminator archetype. It hits with fearsome strength and damage. So squad can wreck a medium vehicle or kill enemy Terminators and Custodians with a single punch. You can supplement your short-range threat with a Particle Shredder, a template weapon which melts power armor. I thought the Particle Shredder would be like a melee upgrade, but it's a flamer. So template, of course. It baffles me how people can't read. I saw comments on my video saying templates were gone. Where did that even come from? Like, I'm genuinely confused where that rumor came from. They were in the pictures for Saturnine. Anyways, range strength 6 and AP 3 means this is a heinously effective weapon against Space Marines. This thing will annihilate tactical squads. It's not even funny. The Salt means you can move and shoot at full effect. Breaching 6, so that you still have a chance to punch through on Terminators, but only damage 1, so nothing too crazy there. Now, Overload 1 is interesting. I wonder if, with a template, since you don't roll the hit, if you'll just take a hit automatically when using this. Granted, at AP 3, it's not going to be the worst, because you're 2+ save and 4+ invul and everything like that. But anyways, that's a pretty nasty profile, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely bringing those because I like the mixed roll look. Saturnine Disruption Fist is initiative modifier -2. You just have 2 attacks because its attack modifier is just normal. Now, strength +2 and AP 2 is interesting. You're only going to be strength 6. So you won't be hitting quite as hard strength-wise as a normal power fist. So these things seem to be more anti-infantry focused rather than anti-tank focused or anti-heavy armor focused. But with AP 2 and damage 3, you will be hitting very hard. Granted, this really stings. You're going to be hitting last all the time, which is tough. You'll be at initiative 1, which means that anything, bar enemy Saturnines, will be hitting before you, probably. Granted, Thunderhammers and things like that probably hitting at the same time. Granted, these guys are tough enough that against most melee threats, I think they have the chops to take it. Like, I do think they do. But it's still just, it's painful having to let the enemy hit you first. But then, again, as they mentioned, you're going to be smacking Terminators to death, smacking Custodians to death. These guys are dangerous, no doubt. So yeah, I think my loadout is probably going to be Bombard and Fist. I might actually do mixed, maybe a few Bombards and then a few Disintegrators, because I think that could be useful. And by the way, if you didn't see the Saturnine kit focus, it includes 6 of every weapon, so you have full options. Yeah, it's nasty. It's definitely really nasty. These guys seem really, really dangerous and really tough. Granted, for the price, you know, you're definitely paying a lot, which makes sense. These guys are beefy. These guys are really beefy. They're effectively Castaferum Dreadnoughts. Like, you're getting a squad of Castaferum Dreadnoughts is what you're getting. With the better invulnerable save. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Now, they also covered the Prader in Saturnine armor, which this kit is so awesome. If you didn't see it, they've got all sorts of different options. You've got the different poses, the optional capes or dangly bits. I love the pose. This guy right here is so cool. So, much like Saturnine Terminators, he can lead. The Praetor boasts formidable profile. He's about as beefy as a stat block Space Marine can get, putting him in the same league as greatest heroes of the era. Still moves 6. Weapon skill 6 is really, really good. You will just be styling on your enemies at pretty much every opportunity, unless you're fighting like a Primarch, or presumably an opposing Praetor. Ballistic skill 5, they'll be hitting quite accurately. Only strength 4 still, which I think is fine. Toughness 6, 6 wounds, initiative 4, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and then 9 and everything else, with 2+, 4+. This guy is a beast, but oh my god, he's 200 points. Now, characters are very expensive in Heresy, they tend to be. Praetor's last edition were 120 points. But, I mean, this is still, like, this guy costs an insane amount of points. But he does look like he brings the beef. Like, he's not lowballing you. War Gear Basics. War Axe, Disruption Field, Thermal Diffraction Field. Actually interesting. So, no, this is just what they're invulnerables from. Allegiance is so obviously still Traitor or Loyalist. Legionis Astartes, Master of the Legion. Most of the same stuff here. Yeah, so you notice how this has command? So it looks like Sergeants can't epic challenge anymore. Okay, options. This model may have its War Axe or Disruption Fist exchanged for 1 Saturnine Concussion Hammer. This model may have a Plasma Blaster selected for it for 10 points. And may have a Saturnine teleportation transponder selected for 60 points. Has deep strike. Okay, so that's how you get deep strike on your Saturnines. Yeah. Hold on. Had to clear my throat. Just had some mucus back there or something. So this is how you get deep strike, because these guys don't innately have it, which is interesting. They're the first Terminators to not just have deep strike. Granted, deep strike will be very useful for these guys, so that definitely seems like a valuable thing, but oh my god, he will be 260 points if you bring that. Yeah, I mean, that. But then again, deep striking in a bunch of dudes with disintegrator cannons or plasma bombards could allow you to just go crazy style. Crazy style. Let's see the weapons here. So, concussion hammer is your choice for killing tanks. Making it the right choice. Rogrins. For planning to wade into the enemy ranks, War Axe might be for you. When outnumbered, hitting an initiative 4. Okay, so let's look here. Initiative modifier, so he'll just be hitting at initiative 4, which is totally average, nothing special or bad. Attacks modifier, that's a big, what is that, 4 attacks? No, how many attacks does he have? 4. So 4 attacks at strength 5, which is good. AP2 damage 2, very good for killing enemy Terminators and reaping blow. Grants you 2 extra attacks when outnumbered in combat, which won't be hard for Saturnines. They're such a small unit that being outnumbered seems like their natural state, almost, if you will. And then here's the concussion hammer. Initiative modifier -3, so again, initiative 1. 2 attacks, strength times 2, AP2 damage 3, critical hit 6+, which we know critical hit gives you extra damage, and it's a power weapon, both of them are. Now, this is a pretty nasty weapon. Obviously, strength 8 means you are completely in range of smacking tanks to death. Honestly, the loadout might be Saturnine War Axe and Concussion Hammer. Now, I don't know if Specialist... Oh, well, I'm dumb. Again, I think the extra weapon bonus has gone away. But still, just having both might be the way to go, right? You have your Concussion Hammer for tanks and this thing for carving through everything else. Very solid. And then he can also wield a Plasma Blaster. He allows your Saturnine unit, to deep strike. Yeah, with the particle shredders, Jiminy Christmas. So Plasma Blaster. So it looks like Plasma is going to the 2-profile system, which I'm not really opposed to. I have no issue with it. This is a change I'm just completely indifferent to. So it is 18-inch range, firepower 2, range strength 7, AP 4, damage 1, and then jumping to maximal fire just gives you extra strength, overload 1, and it boosts your breaching. It's definitely a good gun. There's nothing I can really say against it. But, yeah, I mean, the Saturnine Praetor seems pretty good. Obviously, deep striking in with particle shredders would be heinous. You could just absolutely annihilate a unit of Seekers or something, and then go on to carve something up in combat. These guys look awesome, and I can't wait to include a huge unit of them in my list. Let's go over how I'd probably run them. So Prader, of course, because he looks cool. Probably running, just Axe and Hammer as the build. I think the Plasma you can kind of take or leave. And the Transponder, so that would this would make him, 270 points? So 270, let me just bring up a calculator so I don't have to mental math it. Let me shrink this down so it's not so obnoxious. Calculator. So 270 for the Praetor, so 300 points for a character. You can definitely start to see where Heresy definitely departs a lot. And then we have a big unit of Terminators, so it's going to be 380, because I'm going to bring 6, of course. And then I'm probably just going to leave him Plasma Bombard, Fist, and Particle Shredders. So what'll that be? It'll be 180 plus 30 points. So, hold on, wait, I've completely lost track. 380 plus 60 is 440. Right? Yeah, 440. So yeah, this unit is an insane amount of points. And I love that. Look at that. That's insane. That's 7 models. That's 7 models! Granted, you could knock 60 points off if you want to give him a Spartan or something, but deep striking seems like a reasonable option. Deep strike, flame something, get into combat with something, and then just ping off plasma bombard shots. Now, I presume deep strike works similar to how it did before. So there is the chance that you'll end up deep striking into a building and killing some of your Terminators, but that's a price I'm willing to pay. Regardless, I think these guys look so goddamn cool, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.